Welcome to another video from DIY Daily. Just put together a full step-by-step guide, just showing you how to carry out a full engine service on this 2016 Ford Ranger, and this one's a 3.2 Wildtrak. Now I'll run you through everything a step at a time. Obviously if you're taking it in for a service at a garage, there's quite a few other checks that will get done. Basically just going to run you through the main filter changes. We're going to do the oil filter, the air filter, the fuel filter and the cabin filter. Obviously you can see we are using a 2-poster ramp. Does make the job a little bit easier, but to be honest not too bad to do with the main filters without a ramp. The main reason we'll need the ramp is just to get it up in the air, just to drop the oil out to get a bit of access to the filter and the sump plug. But you can quite easily, if you jack it up quite high, use some axle stands, you can quite easily access everything we need to underneath. So I'm just showing before we get into the video the filters that we've got. So we've got some Wix filters, the new air filter, the fuel filter, the oil filter. Got a new sump plug, comes with a new seal as well, and a new cabin filter. But if you check the links in the description below, I'll put links to all the filters where you can get them all from. And I'll list all the torque settings as well if you want to check any of them out. And if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, just click on the red subscribe button below to make sure you don't miss out on any future content. We've got a few other videos on some Rangers, some repairs on the Ranger you might want to check out as well. We'll just get straight into it. The first thing we're going to do, I'll just run you through the levels quick, then we're going to do the air filter, then the fuel filter, then we'll do the oil change, then we'll go on to do the cabin filter after that, and then run you through how to reset the service light as well. But just running you through the levels, you might want to just check first as well. Basically you just got your screen washer fluid there just to top up. You've got your coolant reservoir at the back there, that's got a min and a max on it. You can just see it's bang on the max on that one at the minute. And your brake fluid reservoir here, again that's got a min and a max on it as well. You can't see it very well sometimes. If you just take the cap off, shine a light in on the inside, it just highlights the level a little bit better. But just to start with, we'll get the air filter out and just run you through how to replace that. Right, so first off, just going to change the air filter. Really straightforward job. To do this, just going to take the connector off the airflow meter here. All you need to do is just pull the little red tab back, then you can just pinch that connector in there to pull that off. And we've just simply got 3 little pop connectors just holding it on. Just one there, another one there, another one around there. So we're just going to pop all them off. We'll lift the housing up out the way and we'll get the air filter then. It should be stuck onto the top side of it. We'll be able to just pull that off and get that swapped over. Just see, really straightforward to get out. See that one's quite dirty on there. And while you've got your filter out as well, you always just want to take note, and just if it's really sort of dirty and full of stuff and leaves and stuff in there, you probably want to just give that a bit of a clean out as well, or give it a hoover out if it's quite bad in there. So we're just going to do that, just clean that debris out of there, then we'll just simply pop the new air filter on and just close all that back up. Right, so the air filter's done. Next job now, we're going to replace the fuel filter. Now the fuel filter, again, it's quite straightforward to replace. The actual housing here just actually pushes on a little slot just down there. We just need to slide that out in a minute, but basically we've got 4 connectors on it. And all you need to use is just a little flat bladed screwdriver, and you just pop the screwdriver in the back there, and you can just lift the clips up. Just how to work them gently. They are a bit brittle, you've got to be careful not to damage them, but not too bad. Once you've popped them up into that position there, you can then pull the connector off. And we've got 4 pipes to get off, and then on the bottom of the filter there is a wire with a connector for the water trap sensor as well. So basically we're just going to get all these pipes off, pull the sensor up, and we'll have to disconnect the sensor and pull. I think there's a little clip we've just got to pull out for the wire as well. Then we've got to take the filter housing over to the bench just to get the actual filter swapped over. But just for now, we'll get all the clips off and get the filter up and out of the way. As you can see, that's fairly straightforward to get off. You can't really mix the pipes up too much. Obviously, the red ones are on this side, the blue ones are on that side, but the top ones are a smaller fitting than the bottom ones, which are a bit bigger. So, and the sort of pipes are quite fixed in the position, so it's pretty easy to remember the positions of them. And the little clip there, just simply a little push tab on the bottom. You just press that in, and you can pull the clip out. You can see it's a little bit messy as you do it. You do lose a bit of diesel. But once we've got the filter swapped over and we've put it on, we'll give it a wash off with some brake cleaner. We always want to do this every time anyway. It's just that way, if you wash everything off well, once you're bleeding it up and you strike it up, it's dead easy to check and make sure it's not leaking. So, and we've just got the filter over at the bench now. Just put it into the vise quick. Just got to be careful, you don't want to grab it too tight on the centre here. Here's only plastic, so you can damage it quite easily. But the filter top does sit in a certain position. But just on this ring here, you can just see we've got an arrow with an open sign on it there, just to show you that it's that way to open it. You can normally get these off just with your hands. If not, you can use like a sort of a pair of grips or anything like that, just to twist that off to get it open. So we'll just get that undone now, get it open, ready to swap the filter over. You can just see with this one's definitely well ready for changing. The top's actually separated and just lifted away from the bottom there. You can just see the state of it. It looks pretty manky down, so it's definitely well ready for a replacement. What we're going to do is just get rid of that one now. I'm just going to get the old diesel out and just give it a bit of a clean out with some brake cleaner as well. Right, so now that we've cleaned it out with some brake cleaner, I'm just going to put the new filter in. I'm just going to lubricate the seal with a bit of diesel there as we pop it in. Then we're going to need a little pick or a little flat blade screwdriver just to swap the seal over as well. New seal comes in the kit, so we'll just flick that out and swap that over after as well. Let's just give the filter housing a bit of a clean down with some brake cleaner as well. So all we're going to do now is just reconnect the connector there, refit the housing, clip all the pipes up, and then we'll just run you through, just bleeding it quick and just starting it once we've got it refitted. Right, so the fuel filter's on now. We'll just give it a quick spray down with some brake cleaner. As I said before, just nice and easy this way, just to check and make sure everything's sealed up and we haven't got any leaks. Now we're ready to just bleed the system up, and it's quite straightforward on these. It's got a pre-pump in the tank, so we just need to do it basically with the ignition. We're going to cycle the ignition now. All we're going to do is turn the ignition off, ignition on, hold it on, just leave it on the sort of second position for about 10-15 seconds max, turn it off, and we're just going to repeat that same procedure about 10 or 15 times, and that'll just keep circulating the system, filling the filter up and just pushing it. It'll just get rid of any air that way. So we're just going to do that now, and it should strike straight up and run quite nicely. So we've now cycled it about 10 times. We're now going to strike it up and then just going to go around and just check the fuel filter and just have a good look around for any leaks, make sure it's sealed up okay. Right, looks like it's sealed up okay. I'm just going to give it another wash off just for some of the remnants that's around there. And I did just cut out there, must not have got quite all the air out of the system. So I'm just going to run it a few times again, just strike it up. So once you've done that, just make sure you just get it running nicely before you carry on to do anything else. It's just that way, you've just isolated any issues to just where you've been, which is obviously the fuel filter area. So we'll just get that running again. Then once we've got that sorted, move on to the next step. So we've got it running spot on now. It just took me another few times of just cranking it and just cycling the ignition just to get the last bit of air out. Obviously didn't quite fill the filter up enough, that's all. So I'd probably recommend doing about 15 sort of cycles of the ignition and leaving it for a good 10 to 15 seconds at least every time. So, and that should just push it all through. A little bit longer and it struck straight up. So to give it a few revs, it was just a little bit lumpy to start with. We'll just give it another wash off. We'll check that again later on, but it's running spot on now. It's not leaking. If it's because it's pressurized, if your fuel filter is leaking, you'll tend to see it dripping quite badly. So but the fuel filter's done now. So next thing we're going to do is move on to change the oil. Just before doing that, we're just going to take the oil cap out, just sit that up on the top, and then we'll take the dipstick out as well. Then we'll just get it up in there to show you where the oil filter is located. We'll get the oil filter out first, then we'll remove the sump plug and drop the engine oil. So now I've just got it about midway up in the air and just behind the passenger side wheel arch. Basically we've got this little flap piece here and the filter's just actually located behind this. I'll just get it out of the way just to show you. But it's really easy to get off. It's just got a couple of these, focus on that. We've got these like a Phillips head sort of style rivet on it. You could just use a little Phillips screwdriver just to unscrew the centre there. Sometimes they don't come out very well though, and you might have to use a little pick. That one's actually coming out really easy. So if you pull the centre out, then you can just pull the rivet out there. It's actually missing one. No, it's actually just pulled through it, so there's another one to get out there just to refit it. But I just took this out of the way and then we'll just show you how to access the filter. So you just folded the flap out the way, and all you need now is a 27mm socket. This is the filter cover. It's an element style filter which is inside there, so just use a 27mm socket. I've just got one of these sort of stumpy 3/8 ones, but any 27mm will do the job. Obviously we can get on there, we can undo that and get that out of the way now. It's just undoing the filter first. It just stops any oil sitting in there and allows it to run through ready to the sump, ready for when we drop the take the sump plug out and drop the oil out, just to get it all out. So but we'll just take that cap off now and get the filter out with it. So that's got the filter and the cap out. You can just see it does look quite manky down. It started to sort of, sometimes when they're starting to get misshapen a little bit, it's a bit of a sign that they're getting a bit clogged up. So this one's definitely ready for replacement. And we'll get that over to the drainer, ready to swap it over and just run you through that. And when you do take it out, I've just put a catch tray underneath. It's just, the best way to do it is probably sort of crack it off, just give it a bit of time, the level will just settle slightly if you want to be really tidy with it. But if you do just take it straight out, you will lose a little bit of oil. So just put a little catch tray underneath it just to get some of the excess oil, that's all. It's just got it over to the oil drainer. It's really straightforward to swap over. You just need to sort of just pinch it, just tip any oil out there, just grab it around the centre and just pop it off. That's all. It's really straightforward. Again, we're just going to need a little pick just to remove the seal there, and we'll just give it a quick swill out with a bit of brake cleaner again. Just lubricate your new seal just with a little bit of oil, and we can work the seal around and on. As you can see, that's nice and easy. Just clip the filter in, just lubricate the seal with a little bit of oil there. Just going to sit that aside till we'll drop the oil out now. Then we'll run you through the torque setting when we're refitting this and all the levels and everything. We're now ready to undo the sump plug and drop all the oil out. Now just coming underneath from the front, you've just got the sump located here. You can just see this one is a little bit scabby. I did just have a tap round of it. Although it's really scabby, it is still quite solid. But obviously at some point it will get to the stage where that's going to be quite weak and need replacing. So but just to take the sump plug out, you're just going to want a 13mm socket, just crack it off, and then we'll just drop the oil out. So we'll just do that now. So we'll just while the oil's draining, just show you've got a new sump plug. Now you don't have to replace the sump plug every time. We'll just try to focus on that. But it is nice to always replace the seal on them. The seal on these just simply slots over and just drops into a little recess on the plug there, but I've got a new one, so I'm just going to run you through the torque setting for its 39 Newton meters. I'm just going to leave the oil draining for about 5 minutes. And with this engine as well, there is also a little bulletin on the procedure on auto data just saying not to leave the oil draining for more than 10 minutes or so. But really I'm going to leave this draining for about another minute, and then I'll put the sump plug in, torque it up. So we've now torqued that up properly to 39 Newton meters. The next thing I'm going to do is just drop it down, just put the oil filter in, just torque that up, and then I'll just run you through. We're just going to give this all a really good wash off. As I said before, like with the fuel filter, anything like this where you're losing any fluid, you always want to give it a really good wash off, and then when you do run it up, it's just nice and easy to check you haven't got any leaks, that's all. You can just see where all the oil's run down from the filter housing coming off. Right, so dropped it back down now, just so you can refit the filter housing. Now the torque setting for the filter housing just says on the side of the end of the cap there, you can just see 25 plus 5 Newton meters. So that means basically you can torque it anywhere between 25 and 30 Newton meters. So we're just going to nip that up and torque it up to 25 Newton meters. So the cap's all torqued up now. I'm not going to just fully clip this casing down. It's just, I always like to just run them up, just leave this little flap loose just so I can check it's not leaking once running it up, and then we'll just fix them fixings back through it afterwards. So but just for now, before I drop it back down, run you through the oil quantity, we're just going to give all this a really good wash off around the filter housing and underneath as well. So that's starting to dry off now. Just while we drop it down and fill the oil level up, all that brake cleaner will just dry up now, but you can just see we've got it nice and clean around the sump plug now, so it's going to be really easy to see if we've got any leaks. But just drop it back down now and just run you through the oil capacity. Right, so now ready to fill the engine oil up. The exact capacity on this engine is 8.9 litres. It's a fully synthetic Ford spec 5W30. Now there is some engines in these that do actually require a 0W30, but you might need to check into the exact spec for your engine if it's slightly different. But this is a 530 in this one, and it's 8.9 litres. So we're just going to fill that up now to bang on the exact quantity. And once we've filled it up, we'll put the cap back on, put the dipstick back on, we'll strike it up, just leave it running for about 20 seconds, 15-20 seconds, just make sure it sounds okay. Then we'll just check the level quick, just make sure it's okay. And after that, really what you'll be doing is just leaving it running and just having a good look around for any leaks as well. But we'll just get the oil in it for now. So you can just see on there, actually about half full there, which at the minute it's just a quick check. For an accurate check, you really need to do it once the level's settled for about 5 minutes as well. But just wanted to make sure that was okay before we leave the vehicle running for a bit. But obviously the minimum's there, the maximum's there on it. So yeah, it's about halfway at the minute. I really like to set them about 3/4 ideally. So just going to put the dipstick back in now. Just leave it running for about 5-10 minutes, just so we have a good look round. Just make sure everything's sealed up nicely. Then we'll drop it back down, turn it off, and just let it settle for 5 minutes before checking the level again to get an accurate read, and just top it up a little bit if need be. But I'll just speed through that, then we'll run you on to doing the cabin filter and resetting the service light as well. Right, so just left that running for a good 5-10 minutes there, speeded through that just while I was putting everything back together. Just had a quick check, everything's nice and dry, not leaking at all. Just give the engine bay a quick wipe over. But now I'm just going to let the engine settle while we do the cabin filter. And then once it's settled for about 10 minutes, we can just properly re-dip it and just check the oil level at that. So, but that's basically all the main filters done. We'll just get on to replacing the cabin filter now. And then once we've done that, I'll just show you how to reset the service light as well. Right, so now ready to replace the cabin filter. Cabin filter replacement's really easy on these Rangers. I'll just show you quickly on the new filter, but it does have an arrow on there for the airflow. But to replace them, first thing I do is just open the glove box, and just on the glove box on each side, you just need to just pinch in, just a little tab there, just sort of pinch both sides in to just drop the glove box down. So just show you that quick. And once you've dropped the glove box down, you can just access this little flap then. And all you need to do is just pinch them 2 tabs in, simply pull that forward, and it just hooks in on that end there. And then this is your cabin filter there. You can just pop that out. And you just check, just so you don't get it wrong. As you pull it out, obviously have a look and just check your arrows on that one, so you know which way it's actually going to put it over, and just swap it over for the new one. So just swap that over quick. Just so you just shook the leaves off, but if you just spin it round, you can just see the arrows facing down on that one. So we're just going to swap that over to the new one now. You can just simply refit the cover. Just as the cover goes in, you just do a little click. Just to get that in at that end, you have to sort of have the flap right out in the right sort of pointing out direction there. So I'll hook it in, close it in, and then just do a click in there. So that's it swapped over. Just simply put the glove box back up now, and that's the cabin filter done. You see, really easy replacement. All we're going to do now is just check the oil level quick, and then we'll move on to just resetting the service light as well. It's a little bit hard to focus on, but the dipstick's actually about 3/4 of the way up there. It's absolutely bang on, just to where I like it. So never like to go fully to the max really. If you can just set it between 1/2 and 3/4, that's absolutely perfect. But realistically, anywhere between 1/2 and full is okay. So now that the oil level's bang on, next thing we do is just pop the bonnet down and run you through resetting the service light. Right, so service light on these Rangers, really straightforward. Just for the ignition on stage 2, just the second turn of the key there. Just clear that message about the door off the menu. And all we need to do, just to get onto the menu, just press the sort of side button there, and just so your menu comes up, you can just scroll down. You want to be on settings, vehicle, and then in vehicle, if you scroll down, you've got oil life reset, press OK, and you can just see you've got your remaining life there, and just simply press and hold the button to reset it. It just counts down, then you can see oil life has been reset. And once you go into that now, it's now on 100%. So as you can see, service light was quite straightforward to do, but that's all the filters and the service light all reset now. Hope you liked the video. If you did, give it a quick thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Just thought I'd put the video together as a basic run through for all the filter replacements, if anyone wanted to have a go at theirs on their own on the drive or anything like that. But yeah, don't forget to check out some of the other videos on the channel as well. There's quite a few other videos on the Ranger. There's a brake replacement, we've got the aircon pump replacement, and there might be a few others to follow as well. But yeah, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.